And welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios at Kukumimle here in Accra. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country including ATL FM, Cape Coast, Radio Max, Takrady, Jubilee FM in Keta and Kekeli Radio Ho. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, and Telesol 4G, Just a Touch. And coming up, Chief of Staff's Office disputes minorities' claims President Akufo-Addo spent in excess of 62 million cedis on foreign travels in 9 months.
We're talking about economic diplomacy, where the president sends people out. All of that is what we classify as foreign travels. So the opposition and those who want to perpetuate mischief, they are always very happy to put it at the president alone. He's been traveling, then the cost of it is 60 million Ghana.
We'll hear from a Deputy Chief of Staff as he justifies the expenditures, but his responses leave many Ghanaians dissatisfied.
They invite you, can't you take your own money to do funeral donation? And he's come, he cannot even provide you with any tangible answer.
Amount you ask him on donations includes staff welfare and all that. How possible?
Also, Committee of University Local Union Executives joins the Tertiary Education Workers Union of KNUST to force their representative onto a University Council meeting scheduled for today. We have details live. Also, freedom at last for 57 women cast in bondage for decades at one of Ghana's most notorious witches' camps as Shraj moves to close it down today.
As I'm going home, I am looking forward to the people I know welcome me back home.
And in sports, after months and months of waiting, we have the launch of the Ghana football season. It's happening tonight. We have news from Keto Krak with the GFA president later.
And later in the bulletin,
I'll be pretending if I say it's business as usual. It is local first and global second. There's many people who live here who connect with events and other things.
we'll hear from award-winning rapper Manifest, who has been advocating a local to global approach for promoting music and also wondering where to go or what to do this Christmas as the Year of Return Yuletide activities kick off. Stay tuned. We have details. Thanks for your attention. I'm Marabra Kumson. Now, Deputy Chief of Staff Samuel Abujinapo is today disputing figures released by the minority in Parliament, claiming President Akufo-Addo spent in excess of 62 million cedis on foreign travels in 9 months. According to him, the figures that the Office of the Chief of Staff submitted to Parliament on Thursday account for its spending from January to September 2019, and they are well within the budget approved in the 2018 budget, and the total cost of travel includes that of other dignitaries. We'll hear from him, but first listen to a news desk report detailing the line items of money spent at the various offices of the president.
In the document, the Chief of Staff Secretariat spent at least 168 million cedis in 9 months from January to September this year. It spent 1.9 million cedis on refreshment, 62 million on foreign travel, and 4.8 million on fuel and lubricants. The Cabinet Secretariat also spent 400,000 cedis on beverages and snacks and 800,000 cedis on catering services. They also spent 26,000 cedis on funeral donations and 10,000 cedis on school fees. Minority spokesperson on finance Keza Latuforsen criticized the expenditure.
Is he buying a new plane with 62.5 million Ghana cedis? Refreshment, partying, tea, 1.980, almost 2 million Ghana cedis on refreshment. Tea. How? This is contrary to the past. No government has spent this kind of money.
He was challenged by MP for Efutu, Alexander Fenyomakin.
Allocation to the Office of Chief of Staff within the 8-year regime, particularly when he became Deputy Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, he knows that the figures were far higher and are challenging.
The minority is demanding further and better particulars to clarify some of the figures.
But today on the Super Morning Show, Mr. Jinapo said the office of the president spent within its means, insisting claims by the minority in parliament are mischievous.
When we talk about foreign expenses for travels or foreign travels, we're not talking about the president alone. We're talking about the president, we're talking about the vice president, we're talking about other high-ranking officials of the presidency. In fact, and even more importantly, and the part that sometimes take a chunk of the cost, we're talking about envoys, we're talking about emissaries, we're talking about diplomatic missions, we're talking about economic diplomacy, where the president sends people out. All of that is what we classify as foreign travels. So the opposition and those who want to perpetuate mischief, they are always very happy to put it at the president alone. He's been traveling for the past 9 months and the cost of it is 60 million Ghana cedis. I'm saying that we can do a lot more thorough interrogation of the issues, and you are very adept at that. You can do it. And I'm saying to you that we are not talking about travels by just the president. We're talking about travels by the president, by the vice president, by other high-ranking officials of the presidency. We're talking about, most importantly, envoys. Every now and again, foreign heads of state and foreign government sent envoys to our president to lobby him on one issue or the other, to engage him on economic diplomacy. The government of Ghana engages in that, and the Ghanaian people expect our government to be active on the international plane. And this president is very active on the international plane, and we do get benefits out of this international activism. And it's all of those put together that which constitutes foreign travel. The global budgetary allocation for goods and services, for which foreign travels is a component, the office has kept within budget. Budgetary allocations was approved by the Parliament of Ghana and approved by the Finance Committee of the Parliament, of which Honorable Atufosin is a ranking member.
So that's a Deputy Chief of Staff, Samuel Abujinapo. Well, callers on the show were dissatisfied with his responses. Listen.
Yeah, I want to ask Abujinapo. He was saying that the amount we asked him on donations includes staff welfare and all that. How possible? Like motivating staff, giving them bonuses and all that. Why should that fall under donations?
It's not a question. My own is, why do we cry over spilt milk? The milk has already been spilled. The questions will not answer it. What I need to tell them is, Ekufuado has failed us tremendously. And I'm not partisan. Likewise, Mahama did. Likewise, Ekufuado. Somebody who said he's going to keep track of the public press, and you come and you are using my public money to go and donate money to somebody who works in the government agency. Look at the money you guys take. You can't have a welfare policy and go and pay money to funeral contributions. You're telling me my taxpayers' money is supposed to be used. Whilst on the motorway yesterday, there's no light on the motorway.
So you had some questionnaires for him before he came. And he's come, he cannot even provide you with any tangible answer. Oh, this one, he's now giving lectures. You wanted explanation, because yesterday the NDC people criticized all these figures. So as we invited him, you should have come with some documents detailing all the expenditure. What is wrong? Was he not part of the chief of staff who did the budget to Parliament? So why is he running away that way? He cannot give details. I mean, we don't know all these lectures.
So you had some callers on the Super Morning Show expressing dissatisfaction with the Deputy Chief of Staff's responses. Now let's head to Kumasi, because the Committee of University Local Union Executives has joined the Tertiary Education Workers Union of KNUST to force their representative onto a university council meeting scheduled for today. This follows government's refusal to swear in their representatives onto the council. Now, the Ministry of Education took the move on the basis of a court injunction placed on the union's election. A new council in November was sworn in at the office of the Ministry of Education, where all but Charles Arthur, a nominated member of TEWU, was ignored. Now, my colleague with Love FM, Nanaya Ojima, is monitoring that meeting. He joins us on the line. Nanaya, we are hearing of some temporary disruption of this meeting. What more can you report?
Okay, so this morning, the TEWU, local TEWU, and their leadership, that's national leadership, went through the streets of KNUST with their elected member for the University Council, who had his Quran in his arms. And they walked through the streets of the university trying to register their displeasure at the ministry's refusal to swear in Mr. Arthur onto the university governing council. So from the streets, they went straight to the administration of the university, to where there's supposed to be a council meeting today, to get their member into that meeting. But when they got there, the meeting hadn't started. So the university management committee took advantage of that opportunity to sit with the leadership and speak with them. And they agreed that the members of TEU, as well as their national leadership, bring a petition the Education Ministry through the university, so that early next year, that's early January, they can get their representation on the council. But according to TEU, what's happening presently within TEU, that's the court issue, has no bearing on what's happening at the University Council. So despite the court issue, there should be a representation on the University Governing Council. So TEU has agreed to petition the Education Ministry through the university management.
All right, many thanks for that update. Nanaya Aljima bringing that update from the KNUST University Council meeting with TEU. Let's move to the courts, because an Accra High Court has denied 8 coup suspects bail for the second time. The High Court, presided over by Justice George Boidi in November, ruled that the accused persons were lawfully arrested and have not been kept in custody unreasonably, as he denied them bail. The lawyers filed another application yesterday accusing state prosecutors of abusing their prosecutorial powers. Court correspondent Joseph Akablay joins us on the line with more on this. So, Joseph, despite dismissing the case, the judge, we understand, wants prosecution to speed up investigation. Tell us about that.
In fact, she says that she's giving them up to the end of January, and that she expects that the lawyers should file another application for bail if by the end of January the case has not proceeded to a level where both all the sides in the case will be satisfied that it's indeed moving on as is expected. She has also advised prosecutors to ensure that at least at this stage, the evidence that they are putting together against them in the course of the trial proper, they should make it available to the accused persons and their lawyers to give them a sense of the case the state has against them, and also to assure them that investigations is indeed ongoing, rather than just to come to court to always say that investigations are still ongoing.
And Joseph, how about the senior police officer, ACP Agojo? What's the latest on his case?
His lawyers in November also made an application for bail that was denied. As I speak to you now, they are currently in the courtroom. They will also be making another application in some few minutes' time. ACP Agojo is seated in the courtroom with his family members. His lawyer Martin Toby is also present. We understand the push is to ensure that at least he gets bail so that he can spend Christmas with his family, pending trial resuming sometime in January of 2020.
Thank you very much for that update. Joseph Akablay is our court correspondent. Moving to Parliament now, where the MP for North Tong, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, is asking that the Foreign Affairs Minister appears before the House to update them on measures being taken to address the closure of the Nigerian border to Ghanaian traders. The Nigerian government began closing its borders in August in an operation they termed Exercise Swift Response. The operation, according to the government, was to check the smuggling of illegal goods into the country. But today, Mr. Ablakwa wants the minister to give an update on the matter.
Fortunately, we have time today and tomorrow before the week ends. So I don't know if the majority leader is in a position to give us an update on the appearance of the foreign minister, if she has been programmed to appear before us. Related to that are also a few outstandings. I recall that this house had some matters to do with the District Assembly Common Fund Administrator, and also year of return matters, if either Minister of the Interior or Tourism could also brief us on arrangements because of the talk of a high level and a high number of visits. So there are all of those matters outstanding. I don't know if with the small window of extension that we have to the 23rd, if that can create an opportunity for these outstanding matters to be addressed by the House. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
So that's Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. Well, also in the House today, Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu spoke about the vetting of CJ nominee Justice Eninyebo. Listen.
And Mr. Speaker, to acknowledge that your guidance and leadership, that Parliament be mindful that we respond to that national duty and national call of vetting the President's nominee for the high office of Chief Justice of our Republic. is what is compelling our sitting beyond tomorrow, when the House was tentatively scheduled to adjourn Senate. Mr. Speaker, let me assure the Ghanaian public and my colleagues that we will participate in that exercise fully as a House to probe the background, the competences of the President's nominee and discharge it, as the President said, expeditiously. But Mr. Speaker, on Monday, the Appointments Committee will as usual be thorough in probing the background of the President nominee to determine his suitability and competence. As and when the Appointment Committee exhausts its work and is able to generate a report, Mr. Speaker, as you guided, no Christmas for us, will be here, even if it takes dawn or midnight or the next day that morning.
So that's Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu there. I'm joined on the line by my colleague Kwesi Parker Wilson, who's monitoring proceedings in Parliament. What else has come up for discussion in the chamber, Parker?
Okay, so just a while ago, the minority raised concerns about the work of the special prosecutor. In fact, they admit that government should be blamed for the inactive or the lack of performance by the special prosecutor. But again, the blame should also go to the governing board, because the governing board, since its inauguration or when they were established somewhere early this year, they have failed to really perform to ensure that at least administrative processes at the office of the special prosecutor is really effective. The governing board has failed to ensure that there's an establishment of a tender entity committee where the tender committee will ensure the procurement of operational vehicles and other materials that will enhance the work and performance of the special prosecutor. This is not happening. It hasn't happened. It's not possible. It's not going on. And so this is really affecting the special prosecutor. And the minority believes that the time has come for government and the governing board to ensure that all the things that the special prosecutor needs to fight corruption has been given to him. And again, they raised the concerns about the lack of office space as well. The major concern was that there are agencies that are renting apartments all over the country, but yet the special prosecutor doesn't have an office space to even operate. Reason he is recruiting just about 3 investigators to work with, and that is why this year, 2019, he's only worked on 2 cases and has commenced 8 cases for the year 2020. So they think that this is really not the best, and government has to do something about it.
Kwesi Parker Wilson, many thanks for that update. Now, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, is today closing one of Northern Ghana's most notorious witches' camps in the village of Nabuli. This means freedom for 57 women cast in bondage for decades on accusations of witchcraft. The witches' camp's menace has been the subject of a Joy News documentary, Camps of Bondage. Ahead of the ceremony, my colleague Justice Bedu followed some of the women on their journey of joy and of anxiety out of the camp. Here's his report.
The Nabuli Witches' Camp. For some, a safe haven where women accused of witchcraft, fleeing persecution, find solace. But for others, this is a dreaded open dungeon where those that are unwelcome in their own homes come to die. This camp has been here for as long as anyone here remembers. Now it is about to shut down. Kuma Awie is one of the last women packing up to leave. Only yesterday, one woman died in this camp. According to the people who knew her, she was well over 100 years old and had been here in this camp for over 30 years. She died of ill health. Kuma Awie's story is like that of many who came before her into this camp. Someone in her hometown said she saw her in her sleep trying to cut off her head. That accusation was enough to convict her and force her out of her home and away from her family after hours of beating and torture.
As I'm going home, I am looking forward to the people I know welcome me back home.
Mma Ble Bala is also leaving the camp, but would not be going back to her home village 18 kilometers away from Nabuli, where she came from 25 years ago. She is choosing instead to live just outside the Naubali town.
I am not going anywhere. I am happy here. Even in my sickness or death, I will be here. If I die, they can take my remains back home. But as I live, I'd live here.
Why can't you go home? Why can't you go back home to Nawek?
They'll kill me. The sort of beatings I suffered when I was accused of witchcraft nearly took my life.
I've come to the palace of Isifu Isa VII, the powerful chief of Nabali, who has led the age-old fight to have this camp closed down.
I am happy we achieved this. I am happy for all the support. Now everyone would know that if you accuse your wife or any relative of witchcraft, there'll be no place here to keep her.
This is the second camp that is closing in 4 years, setting over 100 women free. But right campaigners who have been at the forefront of the advocacy to close down witches' camps are measured in celebrating the feat, not least because 4 others, which host the most number of inmates, remains open in this region alone. So as the celebration greets this camp's closure, the uncertainty of some of its inmates who are unsure of what would happen next remains. Justice Bedu, Joy News, Naboli in the northern region.
And in Accra, I'm Arba Kumsin. You're listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We're taking a short breather, but stories gone by. Chief of Staff's office disputes minorities' claims President Akufo-Addo spent in excess of 62 million cedis on foreign travels in 9 months, and freedom at last for 57 women cast in bondage for decades as one of Ghana's most notorious witches' camps is closed down by Sraj today. Later in the bulletin, Minsha Palace defends decision to withdraw later Santehima's name off a private nursing college.
It was not in the interest of Minsha that the institution should continue to bear the name of the Asantehima. And the Nana Asantehima therefore directed that the name should be withdrawn from the institution forthwith.
And later in the bulletin,
business as usual. It is local first and global second. There's many people who live here who connect with events and other things.
We hear more from award-winning rapper Manifest, and also wondering where to go or what to do this Christmas as the year of return Yuletide activities kick off. Stay tuned. We have details after this break.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
Start making the simple things simpler. Start using your MasterCard instead of cash. Start buying groceries, shopping online, or at your favorite store, all using your MasterCard. Start enjoying the freedom of a MasterCard in your pocket, knowing the simple things are taken care of with easy, safe, and secure transactions. Ask your bank for your MasterCard. Better than cash.
It's the last day of work for the year. Time to be happier. You spot a bin 20 meters away and kick some crumpled paper. It goes in. You're happy. You go home, turn on DSTV, and the biggest match of the Premier League is on. You remember you can slow down, pause, and rewind every moment of the action. You feel happier than a kid with 365 birthdays.
If football makes you happy, our Soccer League's latest series and attention-gripping kids content will make you even happier. Happy holidays from DSTV with great entertainment from only 40 Ghana cedis a month. Get a fully installed DSTV Zappa decoder with 1 month access subscription by just visiting the nearest accredited dealer or calling 0302-740-540. Terms and conditions apply. DSTV. Feel every moment.
You're welcome back to the Midday News with me, Arba Kumsin. It's time for sports, and Gary L. Smith is here.
Thank you, Rabs. And even as we are all happy about the FIFA Club World Cup, if you're a Liverpool supporter, they are getting into the final, there is a Ghanaian element and a Ghanaian angle, because a midfielder from these parts, his name is Kwame Bonsu, and he used to play for Asante Kotokoli last year. He has been in the thick of things for his club side, and he's expressed delight in the great experience gained at the competition with Esperance de Tunis. The former Porcupine Warriors start for the African champions as they finish 5th at the competition in Qatar.
Means a lot to me. Me personally, I've embraced it. To be in this kind of competition is the best clubs in different continents. So me personally, I've learned a lot, and I hope each and every player has also learned something from it.
What have you learned?
You know, this is a very great competition. Being part of this, nothing is impossible. You just have to work very hard, stay strong mentally, no matter what. I mean, Esperance is a very big club, no doubt. So this is like champions of champions, you understand? It's going to take some time, but there's definitely there can be an African club that can also get to the top as well. So we just have to we have to start from somewhere, you know. If we have a long-term target, we have to start from somewhere and then work towards it.
Kwame Bonsu is a proud product of the Ghana Premier League, which the new season will be launched tonight at the Accra Sports Stadium. And as part of our coverage of the Ghana Premier League, we are giving away 10 tickets to Manifestivities on our show, the Joyfm, from 7 p.m. tonight. Here's something about Manifest is coming up.
It's coming up shortly, but first, Menchia Palace has been explaining its decision to order management of Ifeakobi Ampem Nursing Training College to take the name off the school. Chief of Staff Kofi Bedu says the action is to protect the revered image of the late Asante Hema, mother of the Asante Hene. The school has attracted media attention for the wrong reasons over the years, and we will be bringing you more on that.
Boys won't strike, but we faster.
Award-winning rapper and songwriter Manifest featuring Walasi and Koje Radical. This and many others will be blazing through the speakers at this year's Manifestivities on Sunday at the Bukum Boxing Arena. The God MC has been touching on many things, including the year of return and how it's factored into preparations for the concert on Sunday.
We have some Manifest stagnation in the building tonight.
Arguably the biggest talking point at Manifestivities 2018 was when the God MC and the King of Rap, Sarkodie, sort of reunited on stage after a jab trade at each other, or let me simply put it, after a beef. We all remember this like it was yesterday. Well, this year's Manifestivities, from what we are hearing, would serve up even more surprises. But from the perspective of the team, a lot more has gone into making this happen, especially also with the year of return activities.
I'll be pretending if I say it's business as usual. I do believe it is local first and global second. There's many people who live here, whether Ghanaians or not, who connect with whether it's events and other things are already in the system. So we know that, yeah, it's great great that Manifestivities is being listed in different places where people who are coming into town are trying to check out what's happening. So it's a great thing.
With some reckless dudes, last for shoes and Jews.
This feeds into the artist's local to global philosophy.
My trajectory began changing when I came back to Ghana, because it wasn't global to local, it became local to global. So expanding out of Ghana with centered in an identity that is respected in the local was an important thing.
For some money fans, this is the jam of a season.
Definitely a jam of the season. This is also a jam of the season. From the official ambassador of the much-touted Year of Return celebrations. As you know, thousands of tourists and diasporans are expected to visit, and there's so much to do this Christmas as the Year of Return Yuletide activities kick off. Mapito is here with me to run us through some of the activities. So where and what should we be doing?
All right, so we've got Afrochella on the 28th of December, and that's at the Alwex Stadium from 12 p.m. We also have Afro Nation, a beach festival, a 3-day beach festival at the Laboma Beach here in Accra from the 27th to the 30th. And American singer Black, but spelled 6 like, will be performing. Efya, Kwesi Arthur, Naira Marley will also be there. Also, the Return Made in Ghana Fair, that's happening in Osu from today. Samini Fest, Dansoman, tomorrow on the Dansoman High Street. Sakodia Rapaholic, 25th of December. And Mr. Easy's Dirty Rave on the 27th of
Wow,
December.
that's a tall list.
That's
Where
not even half
which one
of
are
it.
you going to?
A lot.
A lot.
I don't even know. I'm confused.
Okay, all right. So you're spoiled for choice, but that's how we end the midday news. Enjoy the rest of the day.